Ruslan.
All right, so a very interesting interview came out from Bill Gates touching on Epstein. Very awkward. Body language is awkward. And we're going to look at the clip today. We're going to react to the clip. And then I got a couple passages to kind of tie this entire thing in. So buckle up, because goodness, this get awkward. If you guys don't know who Bill Gates is, one of the most wealthiest people in the world, he developed Microsoft. You know, I think he was Steve Jobs' rival for a while, and he's been trying to make himself more of like a philanthropist and make himself more of the, Nobel Peace Prize winner. He's been trying to go after that, and goodness gracious, there were some things that came out basically detailing that a lot of the tension in this dude's marriage was because of his affiliation with Epstein. If you guys don't know who Epstein is, the thing that's true that most people go, oh, you're loony if you believe it. And then Epstein had Epstein Island, a bunch of wild stuff happened, and then he got suicided. So we're going to jump into this clip and react to it because it is cringe. So let's jump into this right now.
It was reported at that time that you had a number of meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, who, when you met him 10 years ago, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution from minors. What did
From minors, fam? He was already convicted, fam.
you know about him when you were meeting with him, as you've said yourself, in the hopes of raising money?
I had dinners with him. I regret doing that. He had relationships with people he said, would give to global health, which is a interest I have. Not nearly enough philanthropy goes in that direction. Those meetings.
So hold on. It's interesting that he's talking about philanthropy when this is literally what, the world's second wealthiest person, and he's talking about philanthropy and trying to network and get money from people for very interesting. But let's just keep watching.
Were a mistake. They didn't result in what he purported, and I cut them off. That goes back a long time ago now. So there's nothing new on that.
It was reported that you continued to meet with him over several years, and that, in other words, a number of meetings. What did you do when you found out about his background?
This is the weirdest part, yo. Check this out.
Well, and I've said I regretted having those dinners, and there's absolutely nothing new on that.
Is there a lesson for you, for anyone else looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so in general, you always have to be careful.
What is that? Okay, hold on. Like the smirky smile here is so weird.
In general, you always have to be careful.
Meaning, she's asking if there's a lesson for you. Like, what did you learn from affiliating with someone as sketch as Epstein? And he says,
Looking at this?
Well, he's dead, so.
The lesson wasn't for him. Did you learn a lesson for you? Not for him? Well, he's dead, so I get the lesson. Don't. What?
In general, you always have to be careful.
It's just, and then it's like, in general, you gotta be careful. It's weird smirk and smile. Gosh, this man's just growing creepy by the minute.
Very proud of what we've done in philanthropy. Very proud of the work of the foundation.
When someone says, what is the lesson? And your response is, well, he did, so that's the lesson. The timeline of this is the way he's presenting it is very interesting, because basically, more or less, it came out after the fact that this was a contentious thing and the reason his marriage dissolved. And I did a whole video about Bill Gates being the conclusion of the Kevin Samuels High Value Man. You guys can go check that out. But I think this entire conversation is bizarre. I think the timeline is sketchy. I think they said that he was talking and, trying to get advice from Jeffrey Epstein. Trying to do it in the name of philanthropy and hanging out. I am so blown away by the body language, by the way he carries himself in this conversation. And I want to take you guys to two passages. It actually repeats this over and over and over in Proverbs. So we're going to go to Proverbs 23, do our daily proverb. By the way, if you're watching this, make sure you click out and give this video a like. It helps a ton for the YouTube algorithm. And by the way, 55% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribed. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell notification. We're still doing a 100K giveaway once we crack 100,000 subscribers. Okay, so we're going to go to Proverbs chapter 23. I want you guys just listen to how this describes something that when we view these people who are very wealthy, we view these people that have immense access, we view these people who have a ton. The Proverbs are repeatedly talking about a few things. One, it talks about being patient to develop wealth. And then two, it talks about not envying people who are sinners. So by sinners, this isn't like a generalization, like, oh, we're all sinners. No, this is someone who is attached to people who are very sketchy, attached to people who have very questionable reputations. And when we think about successful people, sometimes jealousy, envy can creep in, and we think about the options they have, right? And so check out what Proverbs says here. And it keeps repeating it over and over and over. So Proverbs 23:17, don't envy sinners, but always continue to fear the Lord. You will be rewarded for this. Your hope will not be disappointed. And then Proverbs 24, he says it again. He opens up chapter 24 again. Don't envy evil people or desire their company. So let's just give Bill Gates the benefit of the doubt and say maybe he's not an evil person, even though scripture says that we're all depraved in our hearts and all that kind of stuff, but still desiring to keep company with someone that he knew was convicted of some sketchy stuff. Verse 2, for their hearts plot violence and their words always stir up trouble. Verse 3, a house is built by wisdom and becomes strong through good sense. Yeah, the kind of good sense to not affiliate or desire the company of evil people, right? And then check this out. He doubles down on this. Verse 19 says it again. Don't fret because of evildoers. Don't envy the wicked, for evil people have no future. The light of the wicked will be snuffed out. In this entire process, it keeps repeatedly telling us in the book of Proverbs, don't envy evil people, don't envy sinners, don't desire company with evil, don't think that what they have is better than what you have. Sometimes, and those of us that are followers of Jesus, maybe you've been following Jesus for a long time, maybe you were born in a Christian household, you see the world and you see people that don't follow Jesus and you think the grass is greener on the other side, and it's not, fam. It's not. The logical conclusions of what pursuing evil and pursuing sin flippantly with no restraint leads to is the most debaucherous stuff that one can envision within their capacity. Meaning this, when you are sinning at your tier, meaning with your access, you can only do so much. The more you become successful, the more access to excess you get, the more debaucherous your sin can get. So a lot of us will look and we'll say, hey, these people are bad, these people are bad. But here's the deal. Based on your capacity, sometimes you don't have the access to excess that different people have. So all of this points back to be careful for one who you're envying, and be careful for the unchecked things in your own heart. And don't envy what you think is greener on the other side of the fence, because it's often not greener. I remember hearing this stand-up comedy thing from Chris Rock. It was rather insightful and wise for a Chris Rock skit. And he said, it's about the 80-20 principle, right? And he said, don't leave your wife, and Chris Rock's oddly, I believe, divorced, but don't leave your wife for that you have the 80% with for the women with 20% that doesn't have the 80%. Don't think the grass is greener on the other side of the fence when you got something that's going for you, that's good, in exchange for something that makes up the 20%, but the 80% is not congruent to the rest of you. And so don't envy sinners, fam. Don't think that these people that you see, don't think that the freedoms they have or the luxuries they have or the pleasures they have are beneficial to you, because perpetually pleasure chasing will usually lead you down that path of mass destruction in your life. Perpetually going after the things that you want in your flesh is going to lead you down a very dark path, and its road is maybe fun, but like my man Kurt Kennedy said, well, the first 3 letters of funeral is fun as well. So that's the Daily Proverb, man. I want to hear in the discussion, is this something that you've struggled with? Maybe you were born a Christian. Maybe your family's Christian. My family's not Christian, so I grew up the opposite. I grew up having indulged into a lot of debaucherous stuff, getting arrested at a young age, drinking, smoking at a young age, going to a strip club in Tijuana at a young age. I've done a lot of really wild stuff early on. I'm talking under 13 years old. So once I got saved, Like, I went all in. Like, this is it. But those of you guys that maybe grew up Christian, those of you guys that maybe have been walking with Jesus for a while, do you wrestle with this a little bit? If we're being vulnerable, do you wrestle with envying those who aren't walking with God and thinking that they have freedom that you don't have, and it's more fun and all that kind of stuff? Because I don't think that's the case in the least bit. So I want to hear you guys discuss it. Let me know what y'all think.
Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.
When the culture says do what you love, we respond with love what you do. You may have responsibilities that you aren't passionate about, but loving what you do means being faithful to what's in front of you, committing to excellence as if that were your greatest dream. Colossians 3:23 says, work diligently at whatever you do as though you were working for the Lord rather than for people.
Love what you do. Love what you do.
Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.
Yo, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you found it valuable, considering giving it a like and subscribing. This month, I'm releasing the Love What You Do collection. And to celebrate, I'm doing a 3-day virtual event to help us go from learning to love what we do to ultimately doing what we love. By the way, it's free, so hit the link in the description to grab your seat today.